All right, all right. So, as you all know, I've been bird dogging this story about the food stamp program, officially known as SNAP, throwing people off the rolls because they cannot meet specific work requirements. So basically, if you get food stamp assistance in the United States and you are not if you're not a child and you're not a senior and you're not disabled, there are work requirements put in place where you either have to hold a job, volunteer, or be in a so-called job program. And I'm very suspicious of those, but never mind that. And if you're not, then you're limited to something like 3 months worth of food assistance every 3 years, something along those lines. However, there have been loopholes in federal regulations allowing the states to modify these requirements because states know best. State welfare offices are not usually known for their generosity, but even the states know their own people, their own citizens best, their own residents best. And many of the states have expanded eligibility because some people who don't fit the senior, disabled, or child qualification still may not be able to hold a job full-time, or there may not be opportunities for them to participate in a program or a volunteer program in their area. Well, that's all coming to an end. And they're going to close up those so-called loopholes that are allowing the states to provide necessary food assistance. And this is what we got from Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue on this issue. We're taking action to reform our SNAP program in order to restore the dignity of work. Check out that language, folks. To a sizable segment of our population and be respectful of the taxpayers who fund the program. Okay, first of all, dignity of work, they're lazy, and respectful of the taxpayers, pitting people against each other. Americans are generous people who believe it is their responsibility to help their fellow citizens when they encounter a difficult stretch. That's the commitment behind SNAP, but like other welfare programs, it was never intended to be a way of life. Because, all those people who wake up in the morning and say, I'm not going to work. I'm going to become food insecure. I'm going to become housing insecure. And I'm going to mooch off those taxpayers. So we're looking at a potential 700,000 people who may be losing their food assistance benefits. But that's only the tip of the iceberg. Because when you qualify for SNAP benefits, you also qualify for other types of assistance, like school lunches, or housing assistance, or utility assistance. There are even programs around the country where museums and galleries and other public attractions offer free or reduced admission tickets to people who have a SNAP card. Now, some of these people will be able to get these benefits because they will qualify through other means, but this is going to mean that charities and organizations and state and local welfare departments will have to scramble to come up with a new qualification system, which is going to take time and money. As far as I am concerned, this is a stunt. This is a campaign stunt. This is being designed to make people who are already feeling under pressure better about themselves because they know, well, the government's working to keep those moochers from taking my hard-earned tax dollars to pay for their food. And unfortunately, it also serves to shame those who need benefits. I'm upset, but I think you all knew that I was going to be.
So I think I could just summarize that and say, keep your greedy government fingers off my Medicare. But Paul?
Yeah, I mean, obviously everyone knows that the reason that we have this law is because that the working poor need 4 times as much food as the non-working poor, right? The non-working poor only need to eat 3 months out of the year. 9 months out of the year, they're in hibernation. That's like a thing. We all knew that, right? And it's clearly, this is what we've been asking our legislators to do, not to expand health care. We don't want Medicare for all. We don't want to end wars. We don't want to have our legislatures working on things that help people. We want them to make sure that we don't get nice things unless we're working, because the only people that appreciate nice things are the ones that are working. And if they're not working, they don't even need them.
And I would like to say, I mean, who do we think we are? Ancient Rome? I mean, they were able to literally give food to people every single day. I mean, we can't do what they did 2,000 years ago. I mean, come on, guys.
That is
and-
all sarcastic. Please do not mistake that is blatant. I mean, I don't know if I can lay it on
Sarcasm.
any thicker.
The other thing to keep in mind is who can benefit from this. Well, certain government agencies or certain employers who say, oh, we'll have a volunteer program, they may end up benefiting from free labor for people who are trying to qualify for their food stamps at a rate that is significantly less than minimum wage when you think about when you figure out how many benefits they're working for. The other thing to keep in mind here is that now the people can also be in so-called job programs. Well, all you need is some organization to say, oh, we have a job program. They're paying their administrator. They're getting the money in to run their program. But funny that the money that is going into that program that could be going toward, say, food for the poor, instead goes to the people who run these programs. And you've got a bunch of people who are forced every day, regardless of their circumstances, to show up for a useless program in an economically depressed area so that they can get, maybe $100 a month in food stamps. So congratulations.
So I just want to add that this is another one. We talked about this yesterday on the show. This is one of those externalities, that this is taking people who are already clinging to the edge of work, clinging to the edge of all these things. These are people that have almost always a place that they're able to live in, some form of job, and maybe they have a kid, maybe they have a significant other that they're with. Well, if you take away food stamps from people and you cause them to not have enough money to eat and starve, well, then they're not going to be able to do that work because they're too hungry to even get out of bed. And if they do that, then they get fired. And if they do that, then you've knocked 3 people that were, again, contributing to the GDP of the U.S., contributing to the labor force, as they so put it. And you've now, through trying to verify the integrity of work, you've now pushed a number of people, and this is affecting 700,000 people. You're putting, and again, Lainey made a great point that this is stuff that it's not just SNAP. It's the stuff that people pre-qualify SNAP for. She was explaining before the show that it's a lot like a Social Security card. It's a lot of things are tied to it, even though it really shouldn't be an ID. It is an ID. And so a lot of people are going to lose a lot of benefits all at once, which is going to put many, many people, tens of thousands probably, in the streets. And then, of course, a number of them are going to die. So congratulations, Agriculture Secretary. You've just killed Americans.
But what you identify as a bug, they may very cynically identify as a feature. Because you know what? Well-fed, well-educated societies have the ability to organize and revolt. Mm-hmm. And you know what? They don't want people to organize and revolt. So we can keep people not so well-fed and not so well-educated, and that accomplishes that goal.